as my social media audience is being built, sorry about that. But we're going to talk about a very hot topic that most people need to address. And if you're not in a position at your church, you can maybe raise a question or talk to those in authority about that while my audience is actually being built. If you would like us on IG and Facebook, we also have a YouTube channel, Bossed Up Academy. Tonight, we're going to talk about how will my church survive the pandemic. A lot of preachers are not, that I've been seeing, are not reporting their income. And if they are not an employee, then if your church is paying them, then more than likely they should be getting, and I'm not a tax advisor, but a lot of them should be receiving a 1099 if you are paying them more than $600 a year. So that way, where now you can't have a physical location, with the stay-at-home order, a lot of places are not meeting in person. They're doing Zoom. They're doing various things to continue to put the word out. But a lot of the worshipers are not in the financial position to continue to pay their tithes. A lot of people, when they get scared, they get nervous, or something happens that's not liked or whatever, they tend to pull their tithes back. So right now, your church may be experiencing where they're not getting as many tithes in right now. Well, if your preacher was receiving a 1099, then he or she could apply for PPP. Also, your church is a business. They can apply for the grant if it ever opens back up, if they haven't. If your church has a school or different things within it, then they may be able, if they are paying employees on a W-2 of people that work for the church, then they can apply for PPP. If it's where the church is giving out 1099s, then those people as sole proprietors can file for their own PPP. So if they file for their own PPP, or they file, if you're not having church at all, and your pastor can file for his unemployment using that 1099, that will relieve some of the burden on the church if he is being able to supplement his income with PPP and or unemployment. So that way the church doesn't have to worry about sustaining his salary while we're going through the pandemic. And some churches, depending on how big your church is, you really can't afford to pay the mortgage and or keep the lights on and keep the utilities on and pay pastors when the money is not coming in. So you want to kind of go back with your church or your board people, and this is a time to make it right. How the preachers say, get your house in order. Well, some of our churches need to get their house in order because they are missing out on government funding because people or things are not being run as a business within the church. Also, your church may want to look into getting a 501c3, C3, I'm sorry, so that you can get your business in order, your house in order, so that way, if something else were to happen, then you would be able to sustain yourself. So if you are cleaning up the church, doing the lawn, if they gave you a 1099, then you should be able to get filed for your PPP. And if the EIDL comes back open, you can get that, or you can file from your unemployment if that was your full-time position. Because then they can file just for their unemployment and not the PPP, because then the church would be eligible to file for their PPP. So if you have any questions that you want to privately inbox me, or if you think that some of your church leaders need to have a further discussion on that, please do go to bossedupacademy.com and send me a message there, or send me a message to my inbox. Thank